My parents kicked me out to let my golden sister live there, even though I bought the house. But payback came faster than expected. So I worked my butt off for like 3 years straight. I'm talking morning shifts at the warehouse, afternoons doing IT support from my car, and weekends bartending. I barely slept. My diet was basically gas station coffee and whatever leftovers I could grab. But I had a goal. Buy my parents the house they'd been dreaming about since I was a kid. They always talked about this one neighborhood with the big trees and the community pool. My mom wanted a garden where she could grow tomatoes and herbs. My dad just wanted a sunroom where he could read the newspaper without my mom bugging him. So when I finally had enough saved up, I bought it. The whole thing. Put it under my name, handled the mortgage, paid the HOA fees every month, all of it. I stayed in the guest room because I was still saving to get my own place eventually. It was small, but whatever. I was barely home anyway. Then my sister Jenna got fired. Again. This was like her 4th job in 2 years. She'd always find some reason why it wasn't her fault. Her boss was toxic. Her coworkers were jealous. The company was a mess. My parents always backed her up. Said she was too good for those places anyway. So she moved back home, into my house. At first it was fine. She took the upstairs bedroom, redecorated it with all this weird boho stuff, and basically treated the place like her personal spa. She'd sleep until noon, then complain the coffee I made that morning was too old. But then one morning I came downstairs and all my stuff was in trash bags by the door. My duffel bag, my work boots, even my phone charger, and my key didn't work. I stood there for like 5 minutes just trying to process it. Then my mom opened the door and said, "Jenna needs space to heal and get back on her feet. You're never here anyway. Maybe it's time you got your own place." I just stared at her. I wanted to scream. I wanted to remind her whose name was on the deed, but I didn't. I just nodded, grabbed my stuff, and left. I crashed with a coworker for a week, then found a tiny studio across town. It was kind of a dump, but it was mine. Here's the thing though. When I bought the house, my lawyer suggested I put it under a living trust for tax reasons, and part of that trust agreement said that anyone living there who wasn't the owner had to be approved by the HOA if they stayed longer than 30 days. I'd honestly forgotten about it until my coworker's girlfriend, who works in property management, reminded me. So I waited. Let them get comfortable. Jenna even posted Instagram photos with captions like "Home Sweet Home" and "New Beginnings." My dad built raised garden beds for my mom. They really settled in. Then I filed a formal complaint with the HOA. Took me like 20 minutes. I attached the trust documents, the bylaws, and a timeline showing Jenna had been there over 30 days without approval. I even noted my parents were technically subletting without my written consent. 2 weeks later, they all got a letter from the HOA board summoning them to a meeting. My parents called me freaking out asking what this was about. I played dumb. Said I had no idea. The meeting was on a Thursday night. I showed up in a button-down and sat in the back. When they called the case, the board chairman read out the violations. Unauthorized occupancy, subletting without owner approval, failure to register long-term guests. My dad tried to argue that it was a family matter, but the board didn't care. Rules are rules. They got 10 days to vacate or start paying daily fines. My mom cried. Jenna looked at me like I'd just burned her house down. Afterward, my dad cornered me in the parking lot and said I was being cruel. I told him I'd be happy to rent them the house at market rate if they wanted to stay. He called me a greedy bastard and walked away. They moved out 6 days later. I didn't hear from any of them for a month. Then I leased the house to a couple I knew from my bartending job. Good people, steady income, no drama. They moved in and immediately tossed Jenna's beanbag chair she left behind. I know because she texted me a photo someone sent her and said I'd ruined her life. I didn't respond. I still pay the mortgage every month, but now I'm saving up for my own house. And this time, nobody's moving in but me.